In this video, we break down the Godfather of Gangsta Rap, Eazy-E, a real street legend. His vibe was bold, his moves were risky, and people say he played the game sharp and dangerous.
You put the dot on your target, then you blow the shit out the mother.
I mean subliminal, otherwise known as a villain. Because I'm ruthless, when I spot a sucker, I kill him.
But what most people don't realize is that in real life, he was actually hilarious. Behind that hard image, Eazy-E stayed cracking jokes, clowning around, and keeping the room laughing.
Why do you wear lokes? You know, it's very rare that anyone ever sees you without your lokes, like on television or in videos or...
Why?
Yeah.
Let me show you why.
No, don't do it. I know exactly.
That's how my eyes look.
I'm not even looking. I'm not even gonna...
Eazy-E's real name was Eric Lynn Wright, and his story started long before the fame. He was born on September 7th, 1964, in Compton, California, right in the middle of a city going through heavy change and pressure at the time. Eric grew up in a working-class household. His father, Richard Wright, worked as a postal worker, and his mother, Kathy Wright, was a school administrator. During the 1960s and 70s, the neighborhood was surrounded by tension, unrest, and the rise of street groups, which shaped daily life in Compton. He attended Compton High School, but dropped out in the 10th grade. Later on, still as a teenager, he went back and earned his GED, showing he wasn't done pushing forward even when things got rough. As a young man, Eric got caught up in street life. He was involved in illegal activity in his neighborhood, and that reputation became a kind of shield for survival in Compton. After several run-ins with the law, he later said this was the moment that pushed him to rethink everything. By the age of 22, Eric had made serious money, but tragedy changed his direction fast. After his cousin was shot and killed, he decided it was time to find a legitimate way out and leave that life behind. That's when he linked up with Jerry Heller, and together they formed Ruthless Records. His close friends, Dr. Dre and Ice Cube, started writing tracks for the label. Cube even wrote Boys in the Hood, but it was considered too intense at the time and Ice Cube couldn't perform it himself. That left only one option, Eazy-E. Funny enough, he never planned on being a rapper at all. Dr. Dre had to push hard to get him behind the mic, but once he stepped in, history was officially in motion.
He look at Eazy, like, why don't you do it, man? You got a voice. Your voice is gonna sound good on the record. And he was like, hell no, man, what? It was like, all right, give it to me. And then I tried to tell him the rhyme. Back then, it was just like, nah, man, that ain't how you say that line. Say it like this.
Right. Now I wanna turn up, hush. Now I wanna turn up, hush.
So we was going back and forth. It took forever to get 2 or 3 lines out. So Dre was like, you know what? Everybody just leave. I'm gonna work with this dude. So we left, came back later on that night. They hadn't even finished the first verse. I was like, damn, I'm gone. I left again. Came back the next day. They was in the middle of the second verse. Came back the next night. That same night, they had finished the song. And it was dope.
About to go and damn near went blind. Young niggas at the pad throwing up gang signs.
Eazy-E's first track blew up fast, and it shocked everybody. Dr. Dre believed in him heavy, and Eazy-E's raw charisma helped that record storm radio stations like wildfire. For the first time ever, gangsta rap was blasting into homes on a massive level. In 1988, Eazy-E dropped his debut album, Eazy Does It, and the streets paid attention instantly. Dr. Dre and DJ Yella handled most of the production, while MC Ren and Ice Cube wrote the bulk of the lyrics, locking in that gritty, straight-from Compton sound.
Because I'm ruthless, when I spot a sucker, I kill him. But most I think know not to deal with. Well, I'm Eazy-E, I got bitches galore. You might have a lot of bitches, but I got much more. Here's a store, but don't point. Walk inside, case the joint. One man behind the counter, another in the back.
What really made Eazy-E stand out was how real he stayed about everything. He never hid the fact that his friends were writing his lyrics, and he owned it proudly. No shame, no fake image, just honesty and confidence.
Ice Cube writes the rhymes that I say. Hail to the niggas from CIA.
Because one line he said, Ice Cube writes the rhymes that I say.
Yeah, he said straight.
Yo, I didn't know how hard that line was until I got older. I was like, he said that?
You said I had no idea he was gonna say that. that shows you how real he was. He's like, I'm not gonna fake it on the record. I'm gonna tell you exactly what's going on.
Right.
In just 6 weeks, the crew locked in and recorded a history-making album called Straight Outta Compton. The energy was raw, fast, and fearless like lightning in a studio, and everyone knew they were cooking something different. Ice Cube wrote a hard-hitting song calling out police pressure, and at first Dr. Dre thought it was way too aggressive. But after a paintball-related arrest involving Eazy-E and Dre, the message hit closer to home, and the track earned its spot on the album.
Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. A young nigga got it bad cause I'm brown.
Eazy-E played a major role in that release and quickly became the public face of gangsta rap front and center, no hiding at all.
Straight out of Compton. It's a brother that'll smother your mother and make your sister think I love her. Dangerous.
After the drop caused huge shockwaves, N.W.A. and especially Eazy-E were accused of encouraging crime and disrespect toward women, sparking non-stop controversy and heated debates everywhere.
So what about the bitch that got shot? F her. You think I care about a bitch? I ain't a sucker.
Right.
Songs
That's
titled...
not talking about women, though.
What is it talking
A
about?
lot of women bitches. It's a difference. I figure bitch is someone that does like scandalous things to you.
But behind all the noise and controversy, Eazy-E was actually a positive, kind-hearted person. That's something his son later spoke about, saying the real Eric was loving, supportive, and nothing like the harsh image people pushed on him.
I used to always joke, like my father was a jokester, you know, and then being with his mother, they always say like, oh, he act like his daddy so much because I joke around with people, so.
I'm gonna say a word to you right now. Just say the first word that pops into your mind. Africa.
Compton.
Feet are funny, aren't they?
It's comfortable, man.
That's when cracks started showing, and the label along with the group began to break apart fast. The first one to step away was Ice Cube, and the reason came down to business, plain and simple. From Cube's point of view, the contracts Jerry Heller offered weren't adding up at all. Jerry put $75,000 on the table for each member, and while that sounded big on paper, Cube could see the group was bringing in way more than that. To him, it felt like pocket change compared to the real money moving behind the scenes, so he made a bold move and walked away.
Easy feel. Do that. The Ice Cube. Do that.
I felt like he wasn't savvy enough to pull this without Jerry Heller's, coaxing and showing him how to make it happen the way Jerry wanted it to happen. So I was just mad at that dude because he wouldn't give me my contract. I just wanted, let me see it. Let me take it to my people. The normal stuff you do when you get a contract. And he was like, I don't know, I can't give it to you. You can sign it, but I can't give it to you. So that was shady.
N.W.A. kept moving and dropped the EP 100 Miles and Running, followed by the album E-Phil 4 Zaggin', and both projects landed without Ice Cube in the lineup. At the same time, the tension was loud and clear, with shots being thrown his way through the music, making the split impossible to ignore.
We started with 5, but yo, what couldn't take it? So now it's 4, cause the 5th couldn't make it.
New album, and what we gonna call it? Tell them the name. What we call it? Tell them the name.
We're gonna fuck Ice Cube.
Dead.
Yeah, I'm from Compton.
All that tension finally pushed Ice Cube to strike back with one of the most legendary diss tracks in hip-hop history. He dropped No Vaseline, a raw, direct response that shook the culture and made the fallout impossible to ignore.
Eric White, hooked always into something. That night by Mr. Packer.
Eazy-E was already getting ready to fire back with a response diss, and the pressure was building fast. But for reasons still talked about today, that track never officially dropped and stayed locked away.
We had a diss song for him.
For Ice Cube?
Yeah, it's still there, but it never got the words. It never got the words.
What do you mean
I
the
did
words?
The track.
Oh, you did the music.
I did the track. We had this reggae guy come in from one of the movies. He did in the breaks and stuff, and that was it.
After No Vaseline dropped, the back and forth dissing came to a hard stop. Inside N.W.A., it was clear the damage was done, and everyone realized Ice Cube had completely outplayed them in that public battle, leaving no room to respond.
He called me that night. He said, so what really happened in the studio about the song? I said, just like they did in the movie. I said, you got us.
Yeah.
That's all it was. It wasn't no, we gonna go over here and kill him, break his. Nah, he got us.
After the diss fallout, Eazy-E and Ice Cube crossed paths one time, and the moment was tense but real. Ice Cube's close friend at the time, Be Real, later shared the story, giving people a rare look behind the scenes of that encounter.
We come down to the parking garage, and as we're rolling to his car, Eazy's rolling up, and I notice him right away. I'm like, oh shit. You know, I'm thinking, it's about to pop off, and I'm about to be right here.
Did Eazy have some own bodyguards with him, or?
He was by himself.
By himself, okay.
Cube was by himself. Well, he wasn't by himself, he had me.
Yeah.
And Eazy was like solo. He didn't need to roll around with bodyguards if he didn't want to. He had respect. At that moment, I thought, oh shit, I'm about to see a fair one jump off, right? I thought the fair one was about to happen. Cause I wasn't gonna jump in that. That's
between them.
That's between them. If anything, I'll break it the fuck up. But realistically, I thought the fair one was about to happen. But they handled their like gentlemen. They said what's up to each other, shook each other's hand. That fast, that quick, and then.
The biggest heartbreak for N.W.A. hit when Dr. Dre started thinking about leaving the group, and once again, money was the problem. Just like Ice Cube, Dre felt shorted, underpaid, and boxed in by bad business. The DOC, who knew Suge Knight, suggested Dre sit down with him to look over the situation. Suge asked Jerry Heller for copies of Dre's contract so he could check the details, and what they found was shocking. The deal was brutal, easily one of the worst contracts imaginable. According to Michelle Lay, Suge Knight said they were earning about 2 cents per record, and that number set Dre off completely. Dre was furious and went straight to Eazy-E, asking him to fix the situation and make things right. But that fix never came, and the tension only got worse. Eventually, Dre gave Eazy-E an ultimatum. It was either him or Jerry Heller. Eazy-E answered honestly and said he couldn't fire Jerry, and that moment sealed the split between them. After that, Dre moved on and became one of the founders of Death Row Records. He went on to record The Chronic, a project that would later change hip-hop forever. But getting that album out wasn't easy at all. Dre took it to label after label in Los Angeles and even flew to New York, only to get turned down every time. Many companies didn't want to touch Death Row because of contracts still tied to Ruthless Records, so those connections had to be cut completely. That's when a meeting between Suge Knight and Eazy-E happened, and it wasn't random at all. Dr. Dre himself suggested the sit-down but stayed away in person. Instead of Dre showing up, Suge Knight arrived with his entourage, turning the situation tense and unforgettable.
So they was in a hotel room. Suge had dudes hiding in the closet under the bed. And when he get up there, Suge locked the door. All these cats come from under the bed and out the closet in the bathroom with guns.
So you're saying that they pulled guns out on him?
Yeah, absolutely.
And basically said, sign this.
Right.
You gonna sign these, releasing Dre and DOC from Ruthless.
Suge Knight slid Eazy-E a piece of paper with his mother's address on it and coldly said, "I know where your mama lives." And that moment crossed a serious line. Days after that heated confrontation, Eazy-E was furious and talking reckless, but Jerry Heller stepped in and calmed things down before it went any further, stopping the situation from turning tragic.
I gotta kill this motherfucker, Suge Knight. No, you're not gonna do that.
Later on, Jerry Heller admitted he regretted stepping in and stopping Eazy-E at that moment. He said, looking back, the decision still weighed on him heavily and stayed on his mind for years.
I should have let him kill him.
Yeah.
You know, I would have done the world a favor. He would have done it for sure.
That Eric was, if he walked between my legs, excuse my French, people probably would think he was my pete.
And no matter how loud Suge bragged about forcing Eazy-E to sign paperwork, that moment was far from a clean win. In reality, it was only the start of a long-running feud, and Suge couldn't exactly claim victory. Here's the twist that flipped everything. Eazy-E signed the documents using a fake signature, and that move changed the whole game. Because of that detail, Death Row ended up having to pay 20% from every Dr. Dre record straight to Ruthless Records, turning the pressure right back around.
They ended up getting 20% of everything that they put out for the next 6 years, and they couldn't do nothing about it. Anything Dre produced or made over there, and he got paid for it.
When Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg went after Eazy-E on Dre Day, the shots were loud and very public. The track made it clear the beef was far from over, and the tension was still boiling.
Grew up with niggas you grew up with, don't even respect your ass.
Eazy-E reacted in a surprisingly calm way, brushing it off and saying it was payday for him. Instead of firing back wild, he treated the whole situation like business, not emotion.
Basically, you could diss me all you want, but I'm gonna get paid. Because that's why I say Dre Day is only Eazy's payday. And that's real.
By the way, Snoop Dogg later admitted he truly regretted dissing Eazy-E. Looking back, he made it clear he respected Eazy and wished things had gone differently during that heated time.
Mr. Rourke and Tattoo, a.k.a. Jerry and Eazy.
That's how I was with Eazy-E, nigga. I loved Eazy-E.
Right, as a kid.
But I never could be friends with Eazy when I got with Dr. Dre. I could never say, damn, Eazy, you a bad motherfucker. I fuck with you, girl. Your shit is hard. I always had to be like, nigga, fuck that nigga.
It's Eazy, motherfucking E. We don't love that nigga.
Did you ever get to tell?
Never.
Oh, man.
Never.
Of course, Eazy-E fired back, and this time the response was calculated and deadly calm. The most important diss was Real G's, and this one hit different because it was rooted in real stories, not just talk. One of Eazy's associates was found, brought into the studio, and sat down with Eazy-E, who started breaking down stories about Dr. Dre straight from his point of view. Using those details, the concept for the track came together, and the verses were written with precision, keeping everything sharp and personal. The very next day, Dresta brought his brother BG Knock out into the studio, and he freestyled his verse on the spot. That raw energy made the track even more authentic, locking it in as a serious response. When it came time to shoot the video, Eazy-E made a bold move. He cast actor and comedian A.J. Johnson to play a parody version of himself, flipping the pressure into humor and confidence. But by the end of the first day of filming, things turned tense fast. According to A.J. Johnson himself, he started receiving serious threats linked to death row. He later said Suge Knight called him into his office and threatened him with a weapon, which made Johnson refuse to continue filming, shutting the whole situation down immediately.
Suge called me into the office. He like, man, you can't finish that video. I was like, what you mean I can't do it? He already paid me. Suge pulled a gun out, fired me. I said, you can't do it. I won't do it. I went and told E, I said, man, I can't finish the video.
Eazy-E wasn't about to stop halfway and made sure the job got finished. He brought in Arnez J as a replacement for A.J. Johnson and kept the cameras rolling without hesitation. That move sealed the moment and helped turn the track into one of the most legendary diss records in hip-hop history.
How was Eazy sort of feeling in the studio about this whole situation?
It wasn't never even a thought. Like, he didn't care about that, man. Like,
oh, but he was doing a diss record.
Yeah, I mean, of course, because you got to understand, Eazy's a smart man. You know what I'm saying? And he always was looking for a way to gain something from publicity.
After the music video dropped, the tension between Suge Knight and Eazy-E didn't cool off at all. The beef stayed loud and public, and it even followed them straight to the Billboard Awards, where their clash turned heads and sparked nonstop talk.
Eazy went up to go meet somebody. You know, it was a bunch of celebrities, so everybody shaking hands. So Eazy was talking. I see Suge kind of trying to press Eazy. So me and my brother jumped up, ran up there, like, what's happening? Suge was like, yeah, outside. We gonna see what's happening outside. So after the award ceremony, we had two homies with us. They came back to the hood. They brought straps for everybody. So we went outside. Everybody was strapped up. So we got outside. We like, Suge, what's happening? Like, I thought you was gonna do something when we get outside. He was like, man, I ain't tripping on that shit. It's like, all right. You know what I mean? They knew we was about business. Like,
so you guys were getting ready to shoot up the whole place?
Oh yeah. It would have happened like it was nothing.
Sometime later, Eazy-E crossed paths with Ice Cube again, and this time, the tension faded away. The two finally squashed their beef face to face, and Eazy made it clear he wanted to bring N.W.A. back together and fix what was broken.
We ended up talking for like 2 hours, just talking about, because he was feuding with Dre and Death Row by then. So my little feud was like over and done.
Yeah.
He was talking about, yo, let's get the group back together. You think you can do it? I was like, yo, you work it out with Dre, come holla at me, you know what I mean?
Would you say that you're a gangster?
Not no more.
Not anymore. Why is that? What made you give up that lifestyle?
I didn't give it up.
You didn't give it up.
Different person.
You're a different person.
Dr. Dre agreed to talk about bringing the group back together, but in early 1995, something strange and frightening started happening to Eazy-E. The timing felt off, and the energy around him began to shift fast. At the start of 1995, Eazy-E began having serious breathing problems. His chest felt tight, his breathing turned heavy and uneven, and something clearly wasn't right. Still, like a lot of people, he didn't treat it as serious and brushed it off as asthma or something minor. Around February 16, 1995, Eazy-E was hospitalized for the first time at N.W.A Community Hospital. He stayed there for about 3 days and was released on February 19th once things seemed to calm down. According to people close to him, after his condition stabilized a bit, Eazy felt good enough to move around again. He left the hospital, stopped by the pharmacy, and then went straight to the studio, showing how locked in he still was to the music, even while his health was quietly slipping.
When he was in there for that first time, he came straight from the hospital to the studio with me. Straight from the hospital to the pharmacy to the studio with me.
But just a few days later, on February 24th, everything took a dark turn. What seemed under control suddenly spiraled fast, and something truly terrible unfolded without warning.
So he felt better, he came to the studio, and in about an hour and a half time of him being in the studio, his lungs collapsed.
That day, Eazy-E was in the studio with BG Knockout, locked in and working on an album that needed one final piece. Eazy only had a short verse left to record, and without it, the whole project couldn't be turned in, but something felt off. He stayed out of the vocal booth way longer than usual, and the silence started to worry everyone. That's when his friend stepped out to check on him and see what was really going on.
I'm like, E, can you please come on and do your little part so we can turn this album in? He was like, hold on. The last time I went out, he was wheezing real heavily. And he started hitting the inhalers. And as we were talking, he started sweating and his condition just progressively got worse.
Part 29, security was called immediately, and Eazy-E was rushed straight to the hospital as the situation turned serious fast. He was taken to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, and it was there that doctors sat him down and delivered the news that flipped his entire world upside down and changed everything forever.
Mom, I have something to tell you. And I said, well, tell me then. He said, the doctor said I had something like Magic Johnson have. I'm sorry. And I said, you mean to tell me? And then he said, AIDS.
Up until that moment, nobody truly knew what was going on. Everyone believed it was just inflammation or lung complications, something serious but manageable. Then the truth came out. Eazy-E was diagnosed with AIDS, a stage where the immune system could no longer fight back, and the reality hit hard and fast.
Do you wear condoms when you have?
Oh, apparently not.
You don't have condoms?
Nah.
You never wear a condom?
No. You heard about AIDS?
Yeah, but the people that I mess with don't.
They're clean.
Yeah, they're
How
clean.
do you know?
You smell them before you have sex with them.
I would have had it myself if they would have had it, right?
Oh.
On March 16, 1995, Eazy-E's condition took a sharp and scary turn for the worse. Knowing time mattered, he asked his attorney to read a public statement on his behalf, and for the first time, he spoke openly about his illness. He admitted what he was facing and made his message clear and powerful. Eazy-E said he wanted to use his situation as a warning for young people, saying, I want to turn my problem into something good. I want to save my people before it's too late. That moment hit hard and changed how many people saw him forever.
And he called me and said, hey, watch yourself. Huh? You know, I don't remember nothing else but watch yourself. He said that twice. And I didn't know what he was talking about till later when I found out what he had. But then I see what he was saying. He talking about watch the girls, you know.
Soon after that announcement, the illness moved into a critical and terrifying stage. Eazy-E developed severe pneumonia, and his body started shutting down fast. He could no longer breathe on his own, and partial paralysis set in, making the situation even more serious. Doctors made a last high-risk decision and performed lung-clearing surgery, knowing the odds were 50-50 at best. After the operation, Eazy-E was placed into an induced coma, with everyone hoping for a miracle. DJ Yella later shared that after the surgery, Eazy never regained consciousness, and the silence that followed said everything.
It's crazy to see one of your best friends, you know, dying or, you know, in a bad shape. That's something different.
On March 26, 1995, just 10 days after his public statement, Eazy-E passed away in a Los Angeles hospital. The news hit like a shockwave through hip-hop, ending the life of a legend far too soon and leaving the culture in complete disbelief.
But I want to say much love to those who have been down with me, especially my brothers from N.W.A, and thank you all for your support.
The official cause of death was AIDS, but many people still question that story, including family members and close friends, and those doubts never fully went away. No matter the debates, the world lost a true hip-hop legend, and his impact still echoes today. Rest in peace, Eric Lynn Wright. If this story moved you, make sure to like, subscribe, comment your thoughts, and share this video so more people can hear the full story.